Hi, my name is Faith Ramirez, and I will be going over Odysseus and the Odyssey and whether he was viewed as a hero, villain, or problematic leader. We all know Odysseus and his voyage through the seas and islands trying to get back to Ithaca, and we all know that he is mainly known for his strong leadership and his intelligence and how he kind of got by after so many years and dealing with the gods and the humans. And I noticed that in Emily translations, she doesn't necessarily introduce the Odysseus until I believe book five, which she also doesn't introduce him as this big hero, but more just as a simply as a just a man and how he's kind of just lost on an island. And I think that kind of goes into my question of how scholars have interpreted his character, as I've always known of Odysseus kind of as a hero, and then kind of reading. So then, when reading Emily's translation of him, kind of brought up some debate and whether he is heroic or morally complex. In my first source, it was titled From Villain to Hero by Monteglo. And in the book, she states how even ancient writers of the time did not always admire him. She argues that he has been debated in how they saw his intelligent as manipulation or deception, and his many wiles or his could suggest how it can be seen this way. Though later on, towards the end of the book, she does explain how, because of this criticism, a lot of philosophers, um, such as anti, I don't know if I'm saying it wrong or I'm saying it right, but the anti Scythians defended Odysseus by arguing that his adaptability and his persuasive abilities were forms of wisdom. She shows how interpretations kind of shifted over time and revealing more that his character has always been controversial. And the second source, the title is Odysseus as a Hero, and it was by the written by the Study Club, and they kind of represent Odysseus more as misunderstood and how modern readers really misunderstand him. For example, they stated that a lot of young women resent him because of how he was unfaithful to his wife, but that it was noted in the article that during that time in the ancient Greek, many that men with many wives were often seen as admirable. And so a lot of people judge him, not really considering the Greek culture values. Um, and also that the ability and hardship to overcome in his battles, as again is often viewed in the Greek culture as heroic, and they were acceptable within the society in which the epic was written in. Some similarities and patterns, comparing the two sources. Some similarities were that they were intelligently focused on how he was able to get through, how to lie and disguise himself to get back home, and his morals and how they're viewed. Um, but they did have some differences in how it debated that Odysseus can be seen differently. With um, Monty, she kind of explains how it can be controversial when the study club was kind of firm in defending him as this heroic figure. Though I think together in the patterns that the interpretations um, change, they change over time, and I think depending on who's defining heroism, kind of is the one that sets the tone um, in their translations. Um, to conclude, it's just that interpretations of Odysseus, again, very depend on how scholars define heroism. It's very different. I think it really goes deep into the translation aspect. And even though the ancient Greeks kind of have a hard time, and a lot of these epics are passed on orally, so it kind of change, I guess I would say. I kind of ended it with the what do you think? And again, it kind of just depends on you. I think Odysseus was a very complex man. I mean, he did go through a lot of battles in 20 years. So I kind of think that he is just a complicated hero. He kind of, I mean, he did end up going back to his home and defending and trying to bring back order. But he did have his faults with disobeying and lying and cheating. um, but yeah, that is it. Thank you.